Since leaving the Golden State Warriors, Kevin Durant has not seen as much playoff success as he reached the finals all 3 seasons with Golden State, but has not escaped the second round since Durant has gone his part through averaging over 30 points per game in the playoffs in that span. HKSA, larger than life essay.
Back in the board.
Tell me this. What's on the line for KD versus the Wolves?
Well, if we're going to talk about legacy with LeBron James, how come we can't talk about legacy with Kevin Durant? I think that Kevin Durant is a natural-born professional scorer. He's one of the greatest players we've ever seen in NBA history. He's got 2 championships. He's got 2 NBA Finals MVPs. But that was playing with the Splash Brothers, the most elite shooting backcourt the game of basketball has ever seen. Now, they needed him to win because they would not have won without him. And despite the greatness of Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant was still unquestionably the best player on the Golden State Warriors. And at that time, vying for a top 2, top 3 spot as the best player in the game. But in the end, here's what it comes down to. Much to the chagrin of his loved ones and him and others who definitely have a problem with me saying this. He hasn't been out of the second round since he departed from Golden State. He never won a title before he arrived. When he departed from Oklahoma City to go to Golden State, it was after they were up 3-1 and gave up a 3-1 lead, lost to the Golden State Warriors in that season that they won 73 games and ultimately lost to LeBron James in the NBA Finals. And 3 weeks later or so, this man is a member of the team that came back from a 3-1 deficit and beat him, which obviously created a lot of criticism aimed in his direction, led by me, unapologetically so, I might add. Then we fast forward, you want to depart from Golden State. And you talked about going there because you just wanted to play the right way, implying that essentially playing with Russell Westbrook wasn't doing it for you. So you wanted to go to Golden State because you wanted to play the right way. Then you go to Golden State and you got a team that plays the right way, plays on the championship level, is led by one of the greatest superstars this game has ever seen in terms of his image, not just his game, is Steph Curry. And you depart from him to go to Brooklyn with Kyrie Irving. And while there, y'all got out of the second round. You got out of the first round once. Now, that wasn't any fault of Kevin Durant. He was absolutely spectacular in that series against Milwaukee that they lost in 7 games in the semifinals. And if Kyrie Irving hadn't got hurt, I believe Brooklyn might have won it all. But nevertheless, it happened. And so now that we look at him collectively and we see everything, the bottom line is this: Brooklyn, and now you in Phoenix, you lose in the second round last year, you go into this first round series. If you get bounced out, how are we to look at him? It's not going to be in a good light, because what have you done since you departed from Steph Curry?
Tim?
That's just the way it is.
Everything he said is fair. And I'm one of those people that ascribes to the mentality that not every ring is created the same way.
That's
I don't
fair.
think y'all carry the same weight. That's just my opinion. Some people could differ with that. My point being, the one that LeBron won in Cleveland, to me, that carries more weight than the 2 in Miami. That's just the way I feel about that because of the circumstances around that, what you had to overcome. A franchise that had never had a title, you delivered that to the city. That, to me, carries more weight. Now, Kevin Durant's got 2. There's no denying that. But he went to a team that had already won 1, that had Steph Curry, one of the greatest of all time. He joined that team. It basically guaranteed winning. Now, Stephen A's right. I think they did need him to ultimately win it, and he got 2 Finals MVPs. But the one thing missing for Kevin Durant, and I'm not saying it's going to happen this year, by the way. Yeah, okay, they could get by Minnesota. You're still going to run into the Denver Nuggets probably at some point. So, and that could end your season in the next round. I still think Kevin Durant, if you want to really, really cement it, how we view you historically in terms of your career, not just your talent, but your career, I think he needs one of those runs. And what better place to do it than with a franchise that's never done it? Just like LeBron did when he won that one in Cleveland. That, I think, is what Kevin Durant still needs if you want to start talking about that place historically with all of the guys that have championships and everything else to go with it that led teams there in a different way than Kevin Durant was able to do in Golden State. So I agree with Stephen A. I think he needs it. certainly can't lose to the Minnesota Timberwolves in the first round. I mean, that's something that's going to be tough to overcome.
All right, so we're parsing hairs, and that is the point of this show. That is the point of debate. Because, Tim, I know a plethora of guys that would take 2 championships, right? And you would put them, legacy, cemented, boom, bam, boom, right? It would be a rough look if the Suns fall short against the Minnesota Timberwolves. But I also think we've had this conversation about LeBron James, and rightfully so, at 39, fantastic. But it's not like KD has been in the league for 6 years. Like, this is a guy that's also turning the corner. And we had a game in Phoenix earlier this season, and he made the point that sometimes it's easy to toss guys to the side as they get older because we're so infatuated with youth. I do think that his legacy certainly would be bolstered if he can be the guy in a run of a team that he's created, because Stephen A., and you guys both said it yourselves, he still was the guy for the Warriors during that run, but of course he's around a plethora of folks. But I just think this is, I'm not going to say it's unfair, because I think heavy is the head that wears the crown. And so I get the conversation, but I do think it would be a little bit of a disservice to overlook what he did with the Warriors and the arc of his career and how supremely talented he truly is.